Ravi and welcome to Goals Driven Life YouTube channel. Along with my other videos on goal setting and personal growth, I do interviews occasionally with inspirational people from all around the world. And today I cannot contain my excitement to introduce you to a special guest on my channel today, Mr. Opher Brayer. Now, it's always an enormous task to shine a light to the light itself because our guest is mighty accomplished in so many diverse fields. But I will try my best. It is going to be a long introduction, so just spare me for that because he has such a long list of accomplishments. First of all, I must let you know that he is the mentor to my mentor, Mr. Rajesh Sethi. And I have enormous respect for Rajesh. Just imagine that someone is Rajesh's mentor, and that makes me go weak in my knees. So let's begin. Opher is a self-made entrepreneur, business mentor, keynote speaker, teacher, former jazz musician, and innovator with hundreds of methodologies to his name. He has invested much of his life and millions of dollars to discovering how talent can be designed synthetically in the human brain. And we are going to ask him some of these questions on this. Contrary to popular belief that talent is natural or comes through luck, Opher's methodologies demonstrate that people can systematically develop multidisciplinary genius through talent development and management strategies. Prior to launching Stages, Opher had a career as a teacher, consultant, trainer, and methodology creator. He has trained multidisciplinary thinkers and gifted children who later served in supreme units of the Israeli Defense Force. And I must tell you, Israeli Defense Force is the elitist place in Israel. He has worked with hundreds of leading CEOs and industrialists by helping them to become better leaders, supported companies through mergers and acquisitions, and shared his business expertise as a strategic consultant for companies in Israel and Silicon Valley. For 2 decades, that is more than 20 years, Opher enjoyed a career as a jazz musician and teacher. As a founder of jazz department of Thelma Yellin High School of the Fine Arts in Israel, he raised an impressive number of local, international, world-class professional musicians using his multi-talent development method. Among his students is internationally renowned pianist Yaron Herman. If you do not know about Yaron, just Google about him and you will know. So, as a founder and CEO of Stages, Opher's goal is now to share his deep knowledge of talent training in business and education with the younger generation. He has been featured in media all across the world, including the Huffington Post, and he's also a TED Talk speaker. He has worked with amazing companies like HP, Microsoft, Nokia, Amdocs, to name a few. I must also say that he was honored by the 9th annual Tribeca Disruptive Innovation Awards for his work in developing unique methodologies for cultivating multidisciplinary talent. And I might be still missing out on a lot of other achievements, but I will leave it at there. I think I missed out on mentioning Disney. He has also collaborated with Disney, which is again one of the most respected organizations we all know. Opher likes to say he is 63 years old with 83 years of experience and an energy of 20 years old. So let's welcome Opher. Hello, Opher. Welcome to my YouTube channel. How are you doing today?
Thank you. It's an honor for me to be in your YouTube channel because I know you through Rajesh, and every time Rajesh recommends to meet someone, because Rajesh is one of the most well-networked personalities, well appreciated in the world. Every time, he sets me up with somebody to meet or to talk or to be interviewed or something, it's usually unique people. That's his unique ability. He knows how to connect the right people together. And it was an honor for me to be his mentor for so many years, and helping him with his, adventures.
That's why I'm mighty privileged to be talking to you. Thank you for finding time here. So when you say you are 63 years old with 83 years experience and energy of 20 years old, I can understand the energy of 20 years old because I've spoken to you. But what do you mean by 63 years old with 83 years of experience. Where does that extra 20 years come to you?
You know, it depends how you sell yourself. If I met with you and I told you, Ravi, not through Rajesh, just we met, let's say, for coffee, and I would say to you, Ravi, you know, I've done many projects in my life, and I failed in 60 projects. Sounds really bad. You will not want to do any business with me, right? Because some people, they have 2 projects and they're highly successful. And I did 60 that I failed in them. At the same time, I must tell you that what you don't know, that the total of my projects around my lifetime was 300, which means only 60 failed. So it depends. What do you sell? Do you sell a failure saying I failed in 60 projects? Or do you say I failed in 20% of my projects? You see, that's why I'm saying it's 83 years of life. Because 63 of them are the successful projects and another 20 is the one that I failed. But what do we have, okay, when we have, so why do I say that there are 83 years? The first 60 years, not the first, out of the 83, I was successful. 20 years, I failed. Now, it depends, when did you fail and when did you succeed? Did you become more successful over the years or like a failure over the years? You see, those years, that between 63 to 83 are the years of learning from mistakes. Most people are afraid to have the courage I have. Some people do have the same courage. I'm not afraid to fail. That's why I failed so many times.
Right.
However, there's one thing I've learned in life. There was a course that I was teaching long ago for companies. And the course name was, there are no targets. Because, you know, companies, they have targets. Q1, you have to do this. Q2, you have to get there, you know, and you have to get to the investors. And everything. There are no targets in life. No targets, never. Because the target was pre-written. You will die. That's the only one target we know about. Okay, that's one target. You will die. We don't know whether you will be 20, 40, 60, 80, or 100. You will die. That's one target in life. You're going to die. All the rest of what you call targets are just leverage points. And I will explain. You see, every time you do something right, you can learn from it, copy it, and do it again, because it works.
Right.
Every time you fail, you learn how not to do it again.
Right.
The more you learn what not to do, you learn what to do.
Right.
And I'll give you an example. Okay, I had this client. Okay, and I needed to help him with his business, and he said, my problem is that I used to make a certain amount of money every month, and then suddenly everything dropped. No clients, nothing. I'm not making money. So I was telling to him, you know, maybe we should start with 2 questions only that you will answer to me daily. And then my insight will come for you, my feedback. And every day I send him a message. And I said to him, how much money do you need to provide your family with? Okay. And he said, I need 6,000 euro to provide my family. That's before going back to the business that should make 100, right? 6,000. Okay. So answer my questions every day, please. And the question was by email. Okay. It was kind of Ravi. I don't want to say the name of the person. Did you make 300 euro today? Yes or no? If you did, how? If not, why? Did you make 3? Why 3? Because there are 20 days in a month. So if you will make 300 every day, we're fine.
Okay.
And for like 2 weeks, he didn't make 300 every day. And slowly, I was looking at the why. And the why was because they were all wrong decisions. And I did pattern recognition. And I found where I can make the intervention in his personality to make the right decisions every morning. And slowly started to make 300 per day, 5, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000. Because sometimes you have to simplify. Saying, in the event that you want to make something better, to see your life as leverage points, you say, did you make what you wanted to make today? If yes, how? Because you want to copy it. Do it again. Or even make it better. And if you did not, don't make the same mistake again, please. Let's change it. So if you do it daily, you change your abilities by 1% per day. And over time, you accumulate 300% within 1 year. Or with accumulation, it's 500%. So over the years, because I was dealing with talent development of human, and I found that most of the boundaries are emotional boundaries. It's really not knowledge.
That's interesting. Would you want to elaborate on that one?
Look, let's assume you know how to code. But when you go to get a job and they do a test for 3 hours for you, okay, you get nervous. So you can't code, although you know how to code well. So just one example, you know, how these kind of things, okay, can inhibit you from succeeding. So over the years, I developed different methodologies, okay, and I will tell you about them later, but this is the point. Everything that you do in your life should become a leverage point. But now you have to know, how do you make this point a leverage point? So let's say we did something successful today. I want it to be tomorrow copied, do it again, and make 10% added value to it. If you make 10% every day, within 10 days, it's 100%. Let's assume you're making $100 today, and we know how you made it. And every day you want to make $10 more. Within 2 weeks, within 10 days, you're going to make $200 per day. Okay. So most people, they want, you know, solutions yet that conceptual or motivation, but they don't want to go into the details and tweak and tweak and tweak every part of their brain, emotionally, intellectually, and sometimes even physically. Most people, they don't like to tweak those things. And the reason is emotional. You don't believe in yourself, you don't do this, you don't do that, or you're overthinking of yourself or too much and you are not capable. But this is all emotional. Most of the non-successful people, the reason is emotional, not intellectual.
Cool. So what you are saying is, so when you say the extra 20 years that you add to your life, okay, now I'm going back to the earlier question.
Yeah.
Is all the lessons that you have learned failing?
It's the 20% that created 80% of my assets.
Okay.
The failures were the lessons, and I'll tell you why. Let's assume you made $2 million.
Right.
You're a successful person. Do you know that with 1 or 2 mistakes, you can lose all of them?
Definitely. Your reputation.
You can invest them in the wrong business.
Yeah. Or you lose your own reputation, your business's reputation, or
Okay.
There are 100 ways to lose money.
Exactly. So there's the 80-20 rule. For me, the 80-20 rule is very simple. You must have 20% failures to get 80% of your results. Because if you can't, the moment you will make the 2 million or 10 million, you might lose them because you don't know how to fail.
So failure is necessary.
Absolutely. But people are afraid to fail. This is one of the biggest fears that people have in their life. Think about it. What do people fear? Death, being sick, failure. There are 14 different failures, 14 different fears. One of them is failure. People fear to fail. I don't fear to fail. And I failed. And I lost millions.
What have been your some of your biggest failures, if you may, or you may choose not to answer also?
One of the things that was my biggest failure, which is also my biggest asset, I trust people.
Okay.
And I trusted the wrong people.
I see.
I signed the wrong deals.
And you still trust people after failing in that?
Yes, but I do have a process to check it out. I mean, I will trust you, but then if we're going to go into business to make $1 million together, then I will do some checkup. In the past, I didn't do the checkup. So I would trust every person that I meet. I would trust. But then there's something that both of us should do. You should do it on me. I should do it on you. Why? In order to create bigger trust. You know, within trust, there's something beautiful. When you trust the right people around you, or the right technology, or the right concept, there's magic. Trust and magic, they go always together.
So, Opher, since you are so accomplished in so many diverse fields, and this is not something that I had asked you before, okay? So you might not be prepared for this, but what would you consider are your superpowers? What are your biggest strengths that has led you to live the kind of successful life that you have lived? What would you say your 1, 2, or 3 superpowers?
The first one is relationship. I create the meaningful relationship with people. I give you an example. There was a guy who came to Israel 4 weeks ago. He gave a lecture of 3 hours. In the room, there were 10,000 people paying $1,000 each. When he was on stage, he said one sentence to the crowd, motivating them. It's not whom do you know, it's who knows you.
Mm-hmm.
Maya, my wife, she was looking at me and she was smiling. There were 10,000 people admiring that person. And his name is Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins, yes. You shared the pictures also from the floor, yes.
See, 10,000 people knew who Tony Robbins is.
Right.
And he knew only one person in the room, me.
I know that. And he also has given rave reviews about your programs. I know that.
Yes. So what does it mean? Relationship are based on trust and create trust. It's a loop. Because of my great relationship with Rajesh, I can enable him to make millions. And he can enable me to make millions just by friendship. This is the story that we need to understand. One of my abilities is that I can structure a methodology from everything. You give me a subject in the world, and I will create a methodology for it. Okay. And many times I'm helping other people to create methodologies. So there are 2 ways I create methodologies. Either a company comes to me and tell, Opher, create a methodology for us, and we will create a technology out of it. Because a method has thinking algorithms, and then you can have computer algorithms based on it. So this is what I know how to do well. And sometimes I'm just helping some other people to write their own methodologies. One of my clients, he lives in London. And now he is building a whole model around trust. What is trust and how to use it, and what is it, and why it's needed in the world.
Is he the one who has created a Facebook group on trust?
Yes.
I know that, yes.
So he's building a whole school about trust. School. And I'm helping him to build it. It will be a school.
Got it.
Okay? Online, offline. This is the guy. It's the same guy. He's a very smart guy from London. Highly intelligent. And what I give him is the path of creating the product. How do you create product, services out of a concept? And soon you will see it. And then we'll approach some investors and we create some apps to create better trust issues, trust relationship between human and technology, human and human, a man and a wife. Some men don't trust their wife, and many women should not trust their husband.
Right.
So how do you build trust in the world is one way. So what I'm saying here, okay, there is something that I know how to create very well. Relationship on the highest level. You know, people who lead countries, people who are business people. The other thing that I know how to do well is writing methodologies. From everything, I could create something that is processed in a very precise way. You do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you get here. You do 1, 2, 3, you get here. That's it. This is a methodology. It's not conceptual. It's very systematic and systemic, and it has processes in there, so it works. Then you can use it in order to create an app or technology, or just leave it, you know, as a learning process or as a skill in life. So this is my other one: relationship and methodology. Okay, and I do possess some more talents, and I think that the unique one of them is because I don't have fear. That's why I won the Rebecca Award. I'm a disruptive innovator.
You don't have fear, and that's why you are disruptive innovator. That means
because I don't have the fear, yes.
So that means to be a disruptive innovator, you have to get rid of fear.
Yes. Because if you don't have it, you will do the same. Why would you do the same? Because you're afraid to make change. So all my work around disruptive innovation is based on no fear. And as I told you in the beginning, the problem is emotional.
So these are your 3 superpowers.
Yes.
So for the benefit of our listeners, and I'm going off the script that I sent you the questions, okay? This is very, very important.
Yeah.
You said relationships are such an important thing. I would like you to share some of the secrets of what does it take to maintain high quality relationships, empowering relationships, powerful relationships.
Yeah.
Said Tony Robbins, out of the 10,000 people, he only knew you. What are those secrets? How can people who are listening to you today and who think they are not good with relationships can become better?
Well, I'll give it to you within 2 points. First, you must have a unique talent proposition to the world.
Unique talent proposition.
Yes. If you know something that other people know the same, why the person will connect with you and not with him?
Okay.
Let's say that I know how to code HTML with 3 years of experience. You know how to code HTML with 3 years of experience. Right. Why people would choose me instead of you? Because I have something unique that the 10 others don't have.
Okay.
The world is looking for unique people, unless you want to be a low-level employee. Okay. Now, first you have to have a unique talent proposition. You have to create it. So the guy that I told you about trust, I'm building his unique talent proposition right now. Okay. The second thing, he needs to build relationship, right? So how do you build a relationship? I wrote a course many years ago. It sold very well, by the way. And the course was called The Art of Giving to Givers.
The art of giving to givers.
Yes. It means you have to know, first of all, how to give and not ask. Let me explain this for a second. Let's assume I meet Bill Gates next week. What is the main thing that most people have in their mind when they meet Bill Gates? There's so much he can give me.
Yes, charity, funds.
When I look at Bill Gates or people like that, or like him, think, how can I be helpful for him? Well, he got $1 trillion. How can I be helpful for him? I can because of a unique talent proposition. I know how to raise children. Maybe he doesn't know. And the money he has will not buy it. And I will do it for free because he's human like me. The difference in the bank account is not important. You're giving. And we go for dinner. I'll pay for dinner. Most people think that the rich person should pay for the dinner.
Yes.
So you see, it's first of all being a giver. However, sometimes people will take from you because they're takers and they will never give back. So how do you distinguish the giver from the taker? Because I said the art of giving to givers. So you have to see the person if he's a giver or not. No, he does not have to give you back anything. Because it's not a business model. I give you something, you pay me for it. No.
It's not.
I want to see that you're giving to others. And I want to check if you're giving to one of my friends who is in a need. And if I check that you're doing this, I know that you are a giver. But let's say I have helped you a lot. And then I'm asking you to do some favor from a friend of mine. And you don't do it. I know that you are not a giver. And I erase you from my list. You can call me. I will never answer you. Because some people are just givers. And some people think, oh, if I do some work for free, people will know about me and then they will buy. No. Because maybe you're talking to those who never buy.
Got it. Yeah.
Okay. So having the unique talent proposition and being at the level of being a giver to givers is very important.
Okay. Giver to givers. Okay.
All these things can be learned.
Right.
Not from a book. Let me tell you something about books, if you don't mind. People see that there's a new book or a new course and they buy it and they think that by using that book, by reading the book, it will change their life. Okay. 500 million people read Think and Grow Rich. Yes. Not even 1% of them became rich.
Napoleon Hill.
It's a beautiful book. I read the book and I made $4 million from it.
After reading the book?
Yes.
Nice.
You see, the book has concepts, not processes. I created a course for career development for entrepreneurs and executives based on the book. Processes, what to do daily. Today you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tomorrow you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Today you do this. I created a whole course which sold more than like $4-point-something million. So you see, I got the book for $10 like everybody else. I created a product out of it that made a couple of millions. And that was 20-something years ago.
20 years ago?
Yes. See, the point is that people want to read books and say, oh, I read the book. See, the difference between them and me, I don't read the books. I don't learn. I don't read. I study. Big difference. Study for me means implement everything in the book. People read, they don't implement. So they will have some great ideas and they will believe that it will change their life, but in most cases it will not. You have to implement. So one of the things to know is how do you implement knowledge? I had clients in the past because we have a coaching department here and we coach hundreds of people, okay? So how we read the book together and implement every stage. We buy a product together, let's say by Eben Pagan, okay? But we implement every step.
Got it. That means people might need help after buying a book to put it into practice, isn't it?
So it could be a book, it could be
concept.
Your own book. Mm-hmm. Like the guy who does the concept of trust. He's writing his own book. You see, there was no book that was written for you in the world. Every book was written for the average person in order to sell as many as possible. But the book does not know your personality profile. And that's why none of the books can work on you. It was not written for you. So what do? You take a book and you rewrite your own book based on that book that is good for your personality.
Got it. This is very important.
That's how we came up with the concept of coaching by measurement, that we coach, hundreds of people daily. We coach daily and for a very low price.
Could you elaborate on the program Coaching by Measurement?
Coaching by Measurement was built in order to make people more productive, more proactive, okay, more creative, and more adaptable to changes, which is the biggest problem. Basically, it's a simple model. You get an email every day from me, and you have to answer it. There are rules how to answer. There are 144 different emails. I create the sequences of the order. Mail number 1, then mail number 26 to you, but to him I'm sending mail number 73. So now we have a sequence of emails. You answer, I write back to you and give feedback. 3 iterations, change made. Everything is measured. You made $10 more than yesterday, fine, or 10 million more than yesterday. And every day we coach those people for $18 per day.
Nice.
You see, me as an executive coach, I charge $600 per hour. However, employees or people with no money, they cannot buy $600 per hour. Okay. And by the way, if you're making more than 3 million, I will charge you $1,500. It depends how much you're making, because I need more energy power in my brain to solve your issues. So I'm charging more. But you see, here it's different. Every day, slight change. So the fear element does not fight it. This is the most important part in here.
I want to go back to your concept of giving. Most of the average common man who's trying to embrace the concept of giving, if he meets somebody who is 10 times more successful than him, you said Bill Gates, right? But often we are overwhelmed with the success of the other person and we are unable to think how we can give him. What are some of the ways that you can think of giving to somebody who is very successful than you?
Well, you have to find the soft spots. You have to see what is the knowledge that you have, okay, that he does not have in a certain area, and help him with it. Sometimes, you know, the moments when you say, wow, that was a great question, thank you. You know, this when people say, sometimes one question to Bill Gates can change his life. You could just ask the right questions. And he would tell you, I never thought about it. And why he never thought about it? Because you have a different point of view on life. And maybe because you are poor and not rich, you can see a thing that he cannot see anymore. He lost the ability.
So you just have to be creative and put in a lot of,
yes,
to see how you can still help somebody.
So if you read about a person, and every person has failure parts in him, you know, things that he's not good at. You read about him, you learn about him, you question about it, and you see that there's a failing point. Mm-hmm. And you give advice. You connect him to someone. Right. Just connect him. Right. You don't have to solve it. Say, I see the problem you have. I know the doctor that can solve it. Right. Okay? You connect. Or you see an issue that that person has and you say, I will send you a book. I want you to read about it. So either you connect him or you give him some data, knowledge. I can go home and I can search for things on the internet for 1 hour because I know how to search well. And then send it to you to help you. And you will say, look at this offer. He knows so much. No, I was sitting and searching because I know how to search well. And I gave you some tools. And I connected you to the right person, like Rajesh connected us.
Right. Got it. Thank you. This was helpful. Your third superpower was the fear, not having the fear of failure. How did you build that habit? How did you get rid of the fear of failure?
You know, most people talk about something being called self-esteem, right? However, self-esteem can be built over the years by successful moments. The more successful moments, the more esteem you build, right? Sometimes you get even too much of it. Mm-hmm. But there is something different than self-esteem, okay, that is important. It's the ability to be a highly sensitive person and non-vulnerable.
And
non-vulnerable.
Not vulnerable.
Non-vulnerable.
Okay.
This is important. You see, we are all of us are very vulnerable people.
Got it.
Somebody tells you something, you want to cry, or you get angry, right? Because you are sensitive, you are vulnerable. Okay? Now, this is the problem. You see, people are non-sensitive, they're non-vulnerable. He's not sensitive. You can tell him anything you want. He doesn't care about you. He's cold as ice. But the people who have the ability to be highly sensitive and non-vulnerable are the most successful one. Because sensitive means I can see everything, I can feel everything, I can understand, I can create relationship, I see patterns, I can see phenomena, I understand the world because I'm sensitive. On the other side, it does not hurt me if something goes wrong. The fear comes because you fear the pain of failure. It's a pain. To fail, it's a pain. Nobody wants to be, painful, like, in martial arts. And I did martial arts like for 12 years. Okay? So what is it being sensitive and non-vulnerable? This is the most important part. See, it's not so easy to build it. It can take a couple of years because you must change it 1% per day. And you must know the sequence on how to navigate there.
Right. Okay. You keep mentioning about this 1% a day.
Yes.
Could you help us understand how can you improve 1% a day? Do you pick a area of your life which you want to improve and focus on that to improve every day, or what does?
You can focus on one element, different element every day. If it's 1% better, it's 1% better. You see, people are not happy with 1%.
Right.
Means, I'll read this, okay? Let's say I will help you to make $10. I'll give you a story afterwards about it. But then, tomorrow, okay, let's say I help you to make $100. I taught you a method how to make $100. But tomorrow you will make only 101. You will say, Opher, that is not good enough. I will not pay for coaching for another $1. But you're totally wrong. Because the 100 with 1% per day gets to 500%, which means you will get to $500 within 1 year. And then if you have the 500, it will continue with only 1% per day. Let's assume it's only 1% per day. You will get to 1,500. And on the third year, you will get to $4,000. And on the fourth year, you will get, most people don't see it this way.
Right.
And now, if you do 1% in different areas,
right,
and you measure the money, you will get to $4,000 in 3 months.
Right.
Because there are different areas that you may change of 1%.
Okay.
One of them is 1% of ability to sell. One of them to make the product 1% better. Now, 1 plus 1 is usually 2. Not in the business when you have 1% means I have one more friend. I had 100 friends, now I have 101. So it's one friend, connection, I would say, call it. But that one friend has a list of 1,000 people to sell my product. It's only 1% over the 100 people I know. One more friend who has a list of 1,000 that we can sell 100 products to his list.
Right.
And within this one person, you've sold 100 products, and yesterday you sold only one product. So it's only 1%. Now let's assume we make the product even a little better by 1%. Now it depends what is the value of the 1%. What exactly in the product you added that is worth for you only 1% change? 1% change in the product. What could it be that will make another $1 million for in your sales? Or $20,000, it doesn't matter. Because you see, not every 1% is valued at 1%. It has different value. One more friend with a list of 10,000 people that wants to sell your product, it's only 1%, but the accumulation of sales is 100 sales.
So that one person could be an influential guy or could make the difference.
And I'm not talking about the one person that was 26 million people in his Facebook page.
Right.
And he's admired.
Right.
And he wants to sell your product.
Right.
And he will take 50% of your money.
Right.
But you don't have 26 million people. And it's one person.
Right.
If you know that person and you have unique talent to sell of some kind in a product or in a service, that's it.
Okay.
But do you know how to navigate your life with this 1% model? 1% does not mean $1. It can mean $4 million.
Got it. I want to shift gears here a bit and talk about mindsets. Now, I know you deal with a lot of successful people and you train a lot of young entrepreneurs to take the game to the next level. So what do you think are a few mindsets one should possess to become super successful? Or when I say successful, it's all about building wealth, right? So what do you think with your diverse experience in more than 60 years, what are those 3 to 4 things or mindsets one should possess to be super successful?
It will be very conceptual because it's needed to be learned, but I will try to do my best.
Okay.
The first thing in our mindset is to have ability to do pattern recognition.
Pattern recognition.
If you don't see the pattern around you, you will never see how to succeed.
That's interesting. Please help us. I know you are a master of pattern recognition, but elaborate on that, please.
Imagine we play chess, and I can see your moves, and I can see every piece, where it is exactly, and I can see the patterns here, and I can see only one move, checkmate. Chess is about pattern recognition, but also it's about pattern design. How I design my moves so you will not be able to win against me. But you see, most people don't work on that part of pattern recognition. Pattern recognition means who is the giver, who is the taker. Can you see? Pattern recognition is seeing people needs in the world today. What do they need? What they're asking for? Where do they go? What do you think Amazon is doing? Pattern recognition all day long from data. And then pattern design and business models. That's all they do.
Right.
And the third part is the ability to make an analogy.
So you said the first part is pattern recognition. And what is the second?
The second one, pattern design. You design patterns.
Okay.
This is a chessboard. Life is a chessboard. That's it.
Right.
You make the right moves, you say you win. You make the wrong moves, you fail.
Right. Got it. And the third one
Just
is?
need the right moves. By the way, every time you're playing chess, it's only one move, 1%.
Right.
One move you have every time, not more. You don't move 10 moves. Now, the third thing is how can you see something that the other person in front of you is not seeing? This is the world of analogy. You have to be knowledgeable in many fields. You have to use the word, this is like.
Analogy.
Yes.
This is something, if something is new concept, we say, oh, this is like this game.
Yes. But you have to be trained to do it and to see 2,000 analogies in 6 seconds in your brain in order to choose the right one. That's what a jazz player is doing. A jazz player, somebody who plays piano jazz, he can scan the brain for 2,000 different patterns in 6 seconds in the brain or less to choose the right one to play. And all the crowd is saying, wow.
Ah, got it. So he memorizes all the patterns and then
yes.
He picks
Now,
up.
so analogy is seeing patterns in one field and using them in another field.
Do you have an
example? Yes, sure. You have a piano, and you choose two keys, Do and Re, C and D. I ask you to play them in order, 1, 2, Do, Re. Basically, you created the melody right now, right? Then I'll ask you, can you create another melody from these two notes when each note is being played only once? And you say to me, Opher, there's only one sequence, 2, 1, Re, Do, Re, Do. That's it. But now you know how to create two melodies from two notes. 0 mistakes, first time in your life. Pattern recognition, pattern design. Okay? You recognize the two elements. You recognize the move from 1 to 2, and you design from 2 to 1. Simple. Right. That's on the simplest level. But if your brain is being trained to do it for many years, you will see it in everything in life.
Yes.
Now, what is the analogy? Now you send your child to study martial arts. Mm-hmm. And the teacher is saying that you can, push your hand.
Right. You
can do it to the face or you can do it to the stomach. 1, 2, 1, 2, right? And then the child will come to the teacher and he will say, you know what, teacher, today we've studied, how to hit the face and how to hit the stomach. But let me show you something. I can do face stomach or stomach face, and I can change hands too. Right, left, right. So I have 4 possibilities with 2 hands. And now he goes back to the music and taking the 2 notes and playing do, re, long, short, and short, long, which is another 2 melodies. And now he knows how to play 4 melodies and 4 moves in martial arts in less than 10 seconds of a lesson. Most kids, it takes them a long time to understand it. And this is a child. He's 6 years old. Right. Now imagine that child will be developed this way. Right. He will be able to become Leonardo da Vinci for sure. He will be able to go to every field in the world, see something in one field, use it there. So he can go, let's say, to martial art lesson, come home, and know how to cook dinner for his parents with that. Right. And if he will cook or study cooking, he will be able to play basketball from ideas that he takes from cooking. And then if he goes to basketball, he can understand history class much better than others. He can see patterns in history. Right. And if he wants to be a futurist, he will create patterns for the future based on history. Right. These are the geniuses of the world. They're what we call polymath thinking. They understand a lot of things, and they can transfer knowledge from one field to another.
So do you teach this also to entrepreneurs?
Basically what we have, just for you to know, is a business side. We have 3 basic businesses here. One is a teaching method for schools, which is implemented in schools for 5 minutes per hour, every hour for 5 minutes. Right. And kids become from non-gifted, gifted within 2 years.
From non-gifted to gifted?
Yes. So if you have not been born gifted, which is only 1% of the population, you go to class, you play the game for 5 minutes. These are 14,400 games. The teacher is playing the game with the child, with the class. After 4 months, people raise IQ, raise abilities, creativity within 4 months.
Playing the games that you have designed.
Yes, 14,400 games. Each of them is being played only once. You play each game only once. Now, we have it for the school system. We have also as an after-school activity in order to enhance, like you have, in the afternoon, you have gifted classes. We have non-gifted to gifted classes in the afternoon. We have, basically now we have 24 centers in the United States. Okay. And then people who are not in the area, they can buy the version of it. The parents can buy a version to do it at home with their children. 22 minutes per day. When you coach your child, you buy it online and you do it at home. Is it the same like with the trainer? No. Hey, but at least you still do it. So we have the online version. We have the after-school version, centers in the United States and in other countries soon. Soon in India, by the way. Right. And then we have centers, and then we have in the school systems, the federal schools. This is one business. It's being called stages.global. It's the stages of global. Basically, these kids will have will finish their second degree in university in science, technology, and economics by the age of 18.
Wow. And your son is also by the age of 13, I think he completed college, right?
Not completed. He's in college right now. He's studying economics. Yes. He's 14 now.
He's 14. Lovely. And so you applied the same principles to him.
Yes. Yes. Quite simple. This is one business we have.
Got it.
The second business we have, okay, is the coaching by measurement.
Right.
Daily coaching. Could be for employees in companies, executives, entrepreneurs. And every day you get a subject, you raise your ability by 1% every day. Email, you spend half a minute on it. I spend half a minute on it. Okay, my coaches spend half a minute on it. And now we're building even some technology that will accelerate the process. So it means like the coach and the AI coach will work together to help you. A person and a machine. So we are building the technology right now. So it accelerates even the process. And so this is coaching by measurement. This is the model. It has it for different fields. We have coaching by measurement for teachers.
Right.
It has teaching abilities. So there are different modules.
Right.
And the last project, I cannot talk about it, but it's some work with venture capitals in different countries in order to build a new structure to exit startups 8 out of 10, because today it's 8 out of 2000. Basically, we create this methodology for startup to succeed. It's technology, and it's very complex thing. I cannot talk about it right now. And will be semi-automated and AI and everything else, and a lot of smart people around, and there's a lot of investors in there. So building something, because the investment world is losing a lot of money in investments. Because most of the time you lose.
Yes, you're right. And you look for that one unicorn that will make up for all the losses, right? So that
hopefully. Well, there's no hope now. You will not need to hope that your child will be gifted. No hope. There's a system, there's a structure. There's a system, a structure to be highly successful, productive entrepreneur or executive or employee.
Right.
And there will be a system for the entrepreneurs plus the investors.
Got it.
A system for investors, basically.
Sure. I got a lot of insights from you, and I'm also being mindful of your time. You need to catch a flight. But I thought if you might also shed some light on the project that you did at Czech Republic that you shared with me last time. That will be also quite fascinating to know. Of the kind of transformation that you brought to a little town or a village in Czech Republic. Yes. Do you want to share a bit about that?
Yes. Basically, we went to live in the Czech Republic for one reason. Great beer, beautiful place, nice people, and amazing food. That was the reason. We moved to the Czech Republic for that.
Which place in Czech Republic?
In Prague.
In Prague, okay.
When I traveled around the country, I found that most of the cities are really poor. They live in total poverty. It does not look like Prague. It looks beautiful because it's beautiful, but the level of poverty is high. So I decided to donate $250,000 and build an NGO and train some teachers. Today we have 100 teachers, we have 3,000 kids, and they become highly successful. In the future, we want to build schools for entrepreneurs and career development for the parents. So now we have the kids gifted, parents building businesses, okay, bringing investors from the outside the country, and build new ecosystems for cities. Because if cities decline, it's death of a country.
Got it.
So this is something we do kind of on the side. Over the time, a lot of cities came into the game and many countries approached us. And then it's not NGO, it's a business.
Nice. So the model will be replicated for other cities in other countries.
Yes, but because there will be investment in other countries, we will be able to accelerate it by 10x. Without investment, it grows slowly. With investment, you can accelerate. So this, look, we see today here when we analyze the information of what's happening in the world, that within let's say by 2040, 1 billion people will not have jobs.
You are right. I heard you speak that as well. So,
and 1 billion children will not be ready for 2040.
So what's the solution to that?
To create brilliant kids. Look, in some countries, they teach them in Africa to read and write. This is not important. I mean, it's important to read and write, but it's not competitive enough. So a child that can read and write can compete with somebody from Stanford. He cannot even compete with AI that can read 5,000 pages in 1 minute and have a comprehension level of a genius. So what can he do? You see, if we're not going to have unique, talented kids around the world, we will not be able to solve the issues that are ahead of us. To take care of the 1 billion kids and to take care of the 1 billion adults is our mission with both companies. The coaching by measurement is based on it. If cheap, very cheap, low price coaching for everyone and a very precise model. And the other one is training the children to become Leonardos. We need a lot of Leonardo da Vinci to save the world. There's pollution. There's no water in the world. There's not enough food in the world. There's nothing, and there are going to be 10 billion people. What are you going to do? Who will solve the issues? We need people, kids, who have abilities in research and development, in science and technology. We don't have them. So today they teach in schools coding. They think that it will solve the issue. It will not. Now we need coders, people who know how to code, developers. But in 10 years, we will not need them because AI can code. What we need is to have brilliant kids. And we need to understand, what does it mean brilliant for 2040? Most schools, they don't teach for 2040. Yeah, they say we give them some skills. No.
Right. So I know your father is still very active and healthy. I've seen his pictures playing. And in comparison to him, you are much younger. So what is your mission for the rest of your life? How do you plan to live and grow and flourish for the rest of your life?
My mission now is to help this 1 billion kids and 1 billion parents, people, in the business world, and to create ecosystems of cities that will strive, not only survive, because cities are in decline in many places in the world.
Okay.
They decline. And I'm talking about cities, not farms, not anything else. Because majority of people come to the city. And this is my mission in life. This is our mission in life. And that's why I want to build startups that will succeed. So it will be more buying power in the market. And that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Opher. This was brilliant. I love this interaction. And I got a lot of takeaways. So what I'm going to do is, while I will publish this interview as is, I'm also going to write a blog post which will highlight all the insights that you shared and share it with my audience. But it was great talking to you. And as I said before the conversation, me and my wife would love to be sometime in Israel to meet you physically and to gain some more inspiration from you.
Buy a ticket, get here, all the rest is being taken care of.
Thank you so much, Mr. Opher. Then I will let you go. You have a long flight to New York. All the best for you. Bye-bye. Yes.